From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, July 19th, 2021. Take a look at the advisories across Canada here from Environment Canada, and we've got some air quality alerts. That's the gray shading that you see there across much of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and then the red and the yellow here. You see some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect across southern Manitoba for a cluster of thunderstorms that's flared up there overnight and into the early Monday morning hours. We'll take a look at the radar in a moment, but first the satellite, and again you see the anticyclonic flow coming up and over the top of our ridge here. So these are some of those isolated to scattered ridge riding thunderstorms that we've been talking about, and it does look like we'll see some more of this activity as we head through at least the early part of this week. Now we'll look at the wide picture of the radar. Here are the showers and storms early this morning. Some light, widely isolated showers, it looks like, across portions of northern and north central Alberta. Dry otherwise as you make your way across the rest of the prairie. But again, we'll look at the chance for at least some isolated to scattered showers and storms as we head through the rest of the week. Now here's a close look at the showers and storms across southern Manitoba, moving through the Winnipeg area and then extending off to the east from there. Maybe some large hail with some of this and some intense lightning activity as we head through the early morning hours as well. So this will continue to progress off to the south and to the east, but as we look at the NAM model, we can see where some of this isolated again to scattered shower and storm activity should continue. So here we go, going through Monday morning. This model does not have a good handle on the ongoing shower and storm activity. So this is something we have to take into account as we go through and forward through this forecast period, is understanding the model not doing a great job already handling some of this isolated to scattered activity. So we don't take the model verbatim here as we go through, but just take it as some guidance as we head through the next few days. And so what it's illustrating here is potentially as we head through the rest of the day today, maybe some widely isolated showers, maybe a few thunderstorms across far southern Alberta and Saskatchewan, a little bit more widespread with the shower activity as we head into southern Saskatchewan tomorrow. Tuesday, I think we'll see a little bit better chance for some scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms with that. This is as we head into Tuesday evening, and then early Tuesday night, that activity moves into southern Manitoba. Now, back to the west, I think we'll see more in the way of isolated thunderstorms as we head through Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Wednesday evening, looking at widely isolated thunderstorms erupting here again. That's probably going to come with a risk of some hail with some of the strongest storms here. So hit or miss, a lot more miss probably than hit across southern Alberta, where I know we badly need some rain. And then again, we'll see that scattered shower and thunderstorm threat continue to move off to the east across Saskatchewan and Manitoba as we head through the day then on Thursday. So it's not nothing. We look at the NAM model. Again, we're not taking it verbatim here, but this is what it's illustrating through Thursday midday with the precipitation, and at least seeing something. You know, last week my tone along and south of Highway 16 was pretty dire with little in the way of organized precipitation. Now we're still not talking about organized precipitation. This is not a widespread drought breaker, but as we get closer, we start to see where some of these ridge riding isolated to scattered showers and storms are going to be setting up, and it does look like we'll at least see some of that activity over the next 3.5 days. We can kind of back that up looking at the NAM model on the left, the European model on the right, both of those showing, again, kind of along and north of Highway 16, maybe a better chance as you go through Alberta, portions of northern Saskatchewan, but at least some scattered shower and storm opportunities here across the prairie as we head through the next few days. Now, where the dry spot is of course, looks like southern Alberta. This is where I think things are going to be much more isolated, a lot more miss than they are hit, where I think we have a better chance for more in the way of, I wouldn't call it widespread, but maybe more in the way of scattered is going to be. I don't know how well that showed up, but off to the east here across southern portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And of course, across southern Manitoba, we've got some of that activity ongoing right now. So certainly looking a little bit more optimistic in those areas. Now, this is the next 7 days from the European operational model. And again, you see the best chance along and north of Highway 16 there. That's where, again, across northern Alberta. And then as you get into portions of southern Manitoba, we see more in the way of widespread, potentially, beneficial rainfall. And then as you head south there, southern Alberta, looking a little bit dry. And then southern Saskatchewan, we'll see what we get over the next few days. I'm still curious about what happens here over the next, we'll call it 48 to 72 hours, but maybe a little bit drier in that area as well. Now we'll just look big picture, the next 5 days here on top, and then days 5 through 10 on the bottom. This is from the European model. We're looking at precipitation anomalies. And again, you see the kind of the ridge riding corridor, we'll call it, along and north of Highway 16. You get into southern Manitoba, maybe better chances there. And as we head into days 5 to 10, not much in the way of a reliable signal for soaking rain. So this pattern does generally continue where most areas are going to lean drier, but we will have the opportunity for some of these isolated to scattered ridge riding thunderstorms. The European model doesn't do a great job of picking up on this activity at range. So we'll see just how dry we are in days 5 to 10, but I certainly am not leaning towards drought-breaking precipitation at this point. We're probably leaning drier, continuing into the end of July. So temperatures that are going to follow, again, we're seeing some heat right now. It's beginning to fade as we head into the early part of the week, and by fade, I mean we're not excessively hot, but we're still leaning a little mild, and that's going to be the case as we head through the end of the month of July, days 5 to 10, looking at least slightly warmer than average as well. We'll hit play on the next 10 days here, our 500 millibar height anomalies, and we see a couple of disturbances, again, riding over the top of the ridge, and that's what's going to be helping to bring that scattered shower and thunderstorm threat. We'll see the ridge right now pretty well anchored across our region, right through the prairie, from the Four Corners up the Rockies into the northern plains of the U.S., and then into the Canadian prairie. We see this little trough, though. That's going to help to kick off some of that shower and storm activities. We get some of the, the more tightly packed together height lines here. That's more in the way of jet stream support. And so again, that kicks off more in the way of scattered shower and storm activity. We see this system lift over the top of that ridge heading into the weekend. This kind of anchors the ridge once again as we get into early next week, before potentially seeing another system sneak over the top of this one here as we get into early next week. Now that's way out there, but just kind of showing the pattern here that at least in the prairie, we've got opportunities maybe every 3 to 6 days. Let's bring it back and look at the jet stream winds that accompany this. Here's this little corridor of stronger winds that's coming up and over the top of the ridge, helping to kick off that cluster of showers and storms that's ongoing across southern Manitoba. Again, this is something that the European model doesn't do a great job of picking up on, but we can look at the European model for these clues. So as we head deeper into the week, you see this little shortwave coming in here through southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba. As we get into Tuesday afternoon and evening, that's what kicks off more in the way of kind of not widespread, bad word to use, scattered shower and storm activity, but maybe a better chance for a broad area of rain to move through the area, accompanying that disturbance you see sneaking through the little circle that I drew. And then as we head into Wednesday, this is when I'm looking for kind of isolated hail-producing storms moving off the mountains across portions of Alberta, and that's going to be associated with this system here. You see those strong jet stream winds punching in there. That's a great setup for some of these isolated strong storms. Now this system lifts over the top of the ridge. That's going to bring another chance for some scattered showers and storms here as we head through the end of the week here, Friday and Saturday across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We kind of turn the flow out of the northwest, try to rebuild the ridge in advance of another disturbance, another upper level low that's trying to work its way in here as we get into, again, we're in day 7 to 10 territory here, but as long as we're keeping this strong jet stream flow here, with the ridge anchored maybe a little bit off to the south, that's going to at least keep chances for precipitation in the forecast as we head through the next 7 to 10 days. And that will be illustrated well here with the precipitation forecast. We'll finish it up here. Again, bad job, bad handle on the Monday morning thunderstorm activity across here. So we know that the model can't be trusted for fact. We're just looking for clues, which we kind of just did with the upper level height pattern and the jet stream winds. But here we see the little system that sneaks through southern portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba, kicking off those scattered showers and storms. We then see the strong upper level support come into Alberta as we get into Wednesday afternoon and evening. Look for strong storms across this corridor. And then as we head through Thursday and Friday, we'll look for scattered showers and storms to make their way along that frontal boundary and get on out of here as we get into the weekend. And then we'll talk about what's going to be following here as we get into next week as we get a little bit closer. So opportunities for precipitation exist. We're not looking at a drought breaker here, but as we've gotten closer, we see maybe better confidence in some of these ridge riding showers and storms as we head through the week. We'll look at the temperature anomalies here. This is the next 5 days again, days 5 to 10. Again, keeping things on the mild side as we head through the end of July. You can see that here in Calgary. Again, we've trimmed things back. We're not talking about widespread highs in the mid-30s as we head through the rest of the week, but still upper 20s, to near 30. Edmonton. We'll look at things in Saskatoon, Regina, and then we'll finish with Winnipeg. Again, hovering very close to 30 degrees for those afternoon high temperatures. So I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you again a week from today.